Yeah, I think we're live. Well, not live.
We're live.
Kind of live. Shocka. Thanks
What's
for coming
on,
on. Welcome to the Ground at Zero
No problem.
podcast.
No problem. How long have you been meaning to do this?
It's got to be months. I think it sort of slipped away from us because we were about to do it, and then obviously you had a family emergency.
With my mum and yeah, definitely. Yeah, but everything happens when it's meant to anyway. So
yeah, exactly. And you're on now, and I'm excited to have you on. I literally on Friday after I asked you to come on, I literally listened to that your album
Impact
again.
Over Numbers.
Yeah,
Which
I love
one?
that album. I love the whole album, like all day.
Are you coming to the show, bro? Tell me you're coming, bro.
I'd love to say yes, but
what's stopping you? Let me see what is stopping you.
When is it?
It's on the 19th of December, next month. So you got a month.
I got a month.
To
I'll look into it.
I'll
look into it because I'm at the minute at work. I'm doing two people's jobs, which is a pain in my ass. I'm doing my manager's role, which is pretty easy. Can't lie.
Yeah.
But I've also got to do a security officer's role, so I'm constantly on the move. But I'll look into it. In fact, I'll try.
Yeah,
I'll try and get.
If you could just take that one day, just that one day for your boy.
19th
Give me that
December.
One moment, man. 19th of December. It's a Sunday, and then
Sunday
Monday.
Well.
I wouldn't say Monday back to work, but maybe Tuesday, Wednesday back to work.
It depends when my my shifts land. So that might be one of my days off, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, it'll be sick to have you there, man. It'll be good to have I just want all my supporters that genuinely fuck with my music to be there.
Yeah.
That's why when you said you listened to the album, I thought it would be sick for you to experience the music live. There's so much I didn't start going to headline shows late in my life.
Yeah.
I met this wonderful woman called Selena, and she's like, that's what she does. She goes to shows for a living. And I met her, and she's, do you know what I mean? I've been, no, not for a living, but I mean, as in it's her life. Sorry, it's her lifestyle. It's part of her lifestyle. To see people live, and I met her, and now I'm joined into that lifestyle, and I've seen so many epic shows. I saw Lauryn Hill's 20 years of Miseducation the other day. I've seen so much shows, and it showed me how important it is to see them shows, because Lauryn Hill's not going to perform Miseducation again. Do you know what I mean? And I caught it. Exactly. So I'm not saying I'm a Lauryn Hill, but do you know what I mean? What are you saying,
definitely.
Bro?
Definitely.
What's good, my G? You blessed? Yeah. How you been?
Look at that.
Yeah, go on.
Look at that. He's out there with the fans.
In real time.
Now there's a lot of songs on your Impact Over Numbers that resonates with myself. Obviously, there's a really hard hitting one about miscarriage, and I spoke to you about it before. Obviously, me and my missus unfortunately lost. I think it's 3 we lost, which one was twins. Unfortunately, that was the hardest one. But just listening to it, and I was like, wow,
Yeah, my mum lost 2, so I'm like the third one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not third one, but I'm the one that
you're the blessing.
Here, and I'm the blessing. So, and the way I've told this story twice. I told it 2 days ago, and I'll tell it to you again. But the way I even found out that she lost the 2 was crazy. My dad is a boxer, was a boxer anyway.
Yeah.
So he's got all these trophies in my house.
Yeah.
And to get inspired, I used to just carry the trophies and just read them and see what it says. Because I don't live with him. I haven't seen him in coming up to 20 years. You know what I mean? I don't really know him.
Yeah.
But all these trophies are there, and it really helped me. That's why I always encourage parents, especially, to follow your dreams, because see if you don't make it, it can impact your child, because they will see that and be like, oh, my dad chased his dream, maybe I can. Do you know what I mean? So that see my dad's trophies from a young age that inspired me to get into sports. I used to do cross country running and football and all this shit. Anyway, I saw a picture just laying there next to the trophies of a baby, but it was kind of blurry. I couldn't really see it, but it was a baby, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So when my mum got in, I was like, Mum, why have you got a picture of a child? Who's this? And then my mum was like, oh. And I just can tell by the tone that we're about to go somewhere. And she was like, that's one of the children I lost. And I was like,
oh,
fuck.
Man.
Yeah, and I ran upstairs and I started crying, and she's like, "That's why I don't tell you anything. I don't think you're strong enough to handle it." I was just crying and crying. But then
it's a hard subject as well, because
definitely. That's why I wanted to attack it.
Yeah,
I tried to attack it in the most beautiful way possible.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic song. And I remember when we found out that we lost the first twin quite early on, and we had the second that was still growing, you might say, and then eventually we lost it. We went for a private scan at the doctor's, and I remember we sat in the car it must have been it felt like a lifetime, but it was about 30 odd minutes. My wife went into the house, and I just sat in the car, and I was just in bits. And I was like, this is but it's a hard thing, grief, because you don't really get taught how to deal with
it. Or is there even a way to deal with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, there's good motivational quotes and hearing other people's experiences, but when it happens, like there's like, I mean, if anyone has got the best mindset equipped for stuff like that, not to boost my ego, but I've been sectioned 3 times. I've seen a lot of stuff, do you know what I mean? And I've got and I've bounced back and rebuilt myself, but still, like, my mum, obviously, you know what's going on with my mum and her cancer and everything. Still, like, just looking at her losing weight and hearing her saying I'm in pain sometimes, and there's the quotes go out the window. Do you know what I mean? You're looking for them and you can't find them.
You're like, where they gone?
They're like, where is it? Like, it goes out the window. Like, it's just, man, it's something that you just got to go through it.
Yeah.
You just got to go through it.
Speaking of your mum, I love the thing that you're doing daily now on your
Instagram. The morning prayers.
Yeah, the morning prayers. To be fair, I'm not a religious man at all, but when I see them, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like the way it's worded, because it's not too. I think what scares people about religion is I can't explain it. There's a certain fear factor and do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
That pushes
I know
people.
What you mean.
Yeah, there's a certain thing that pushes people away, and it's done that to me. But like, the reason why I like those morning prayers that my mum sends me is because they're broken down in such a way that even if you're not religious, you can take something from it.
Yeah,
and she's been sending me them for ages, and I used to just ignore them. And then one day I was like, hold on. I used to just ignore them. Like, she would just send them on WhatsApp, and I would just skim through one sentence and just go about my day. And then one day I was like, hold on, I got fucking 16,000 followers. I can just fling this on my story, and maybe someone else that needs it might care about it. I did. I started posting it, and I get all these messages saying, "Oh, your mum's a G. Oh, she's a legend." I'm like, my mum has no idea. My mum has no idea that I'm posting them. She has no idea. She doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, but like you said, with religions, a lot of people don't take the message that comes through. They think, oh, it's all just talking about God. It's talking about Jesus or Muhammad or Allah or whoever. So they switch off.
Yes, exactly.
But if you actually look into the different meanings behind what they're trying to say, it's very, you can put it on everyday life.
Yes, exactly. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that's where I'm at in my life now. I'm at that point now where I like to learn and take from different people, and do you know what I mean? And just apply it. Yeah. Whether they're white, whether they're black, whether I've got all ethnicities around me. I've got, like, if you see my selection of friends at the moment, I've got everything. Do you know what I mean? I'm like
a box of Quality Streets.
Like a box of Quality Streets. Like, my editor that does my videos, he's Hindu. Like, I mean, I got a Buddha tattoo on me. My mum's Christian. I mean, like, I've completely cracked through the matrix, and that now I just see it for, like, the intention and the wisdom in it. I think that's the true point of enlightenment, when you can see wisdom in like everything.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, like, for myself, coming from a military background, you know, we're sort of thrust into different environments where we are surrounded by different people, whether it's black, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever it may be. All different people from different backgrounds and ways of life. So it's I've always said, like, the military can be quite colorblind in the way that we are, because we don't see race, we just see our brother that we're trying to fight alongside. I think that's the best way to be, you know what I mean?
Definitely. 100%.
You can't
100%, because
you can't be looking at race. I don't think.
When you really look at it, we are one big family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like we're all on literally one level. It's not like the Asians are floating, hovering across the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, then that would be different. Then I'd be like, all right, cool. They are actually different because like they're hovering and then these ones can fly and then these ones, but we literally are on the same level doing the exact same shit. Do you know what I mean? And then we have the same color blood on top of it. It's all red for all of us. So yeah, I mean, and I think the creator's genius in doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like putting the key to our answer in such a simple way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's right in front of our eyes. That's genius. That like if you pass away and you get to talk to the creator or talk to some sort of angel or whatever and ask them what was the solution to like humanity, all our problems, and they said something simple, like all you had to do was just look inside yourself and the answer was there. Do you know how stupid you feel? Knowing like you went through, I don't know, maybe, do you know what I mean? Maybe you're 90 years old or something, knowing you went through 90 years on earth and you was like attacking him because he's got black shoes and he's got, knowing that like the answer was just there all that time. Like, so yeah, definitely. That's my take on that anyway. I've got a song on my album called Racism is Stupid. I can't wait for you to hear it. Like, it's a beautiful song.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, because it is. It's like I've discussed it a couple of times with my brother on different episodes. It's mainly around football, and you see all the racism within football, and it's like if you are a racist, you're an idiot, because we're all the same. Yeah,
but football's I'm glad you said football. That's the perfect analogy, because it's all one. It's all under the same category of football. We're all there for football. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, you got Arsenal, you got Manchester, but it's all under the Premier League. We're all there for football. At the end of the day, that's what we're there for. So
it's mad when you look into the different stupid things that happen. We'll take the Euros for example, with the England fans doing the stupid chants that they were doing, and you're like, hang on a minute, I bet some of you have got black players within your team. I bet you don't do that on the weekend.
Exactly.
What are you doing now? It mind boggles. It does boggle.
Exactly.
And it's a handful of these idiots that make the rest of football look like shit. I think.
Exactly. Definitely.
But you know,
agreed.
So what I really want to ask you, what sort of started you on the path of writing and performing and all that sort of thing? I just want to quickly touch on before you answer that. I actually found you because of Tony Bellew, the boxer.
Oh, okay.
He
Tony.
Because I follow him. I'd love to have him on the show, but you know.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him too, because he's been a blessing.
That's another story. But he forwarded on his story one of your little verses or raps or freestyles or whatever you want to call it, and it was depression. It was about depression, and I was like, wow, like that. It hit me, and I literally was like, wow. So I was quick, straight on your profile. Added I was like, I want this man. I want this man. Even if I don't even speak to him, I want him on my profile because this is brilliant.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Nah, bro, I had a day like this. You know how I said to you, like something just hit me and said, go outside? I had one of those days, and I was outside and I was just counting my blessings, being grateful. And I was like, I feel, because gratitude can do that. I don't know if people do that enough, but like, you can get so worked up over gratitude that it just puts you like, gratitude is a superpower. Like, it is the answer to everything.
Definitely.
And like, I had one of those days where I fell into that good gratitude spell where I was just like, going through everything, like my hands is working, I can open my eyes, like my hair's not dropping out, like my nose, I can smell it. I was going through everything. And then I was like, why don't I just put this into a verse, how I'm feeling? Then I made this verse, ran home, recorded it as I do on my laptop. You know how you see the freestyles with my face there, whatever. Recorded it and thought nothing of it. An hour later, I saw a post from Tony Bellew saying, I don't know who this chap is, but just judging by his vibe, I really love it. And he posted it. I was like, what the? I don't even know how he saw it. If it was the Explorer page.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the fuck? And then I DM'd him and he was like, yeah, love what you do, man. And we just started talking through the DMs. And then every so often he just posts my freestyle. Like I did one on, I think Suicide Week, Suicide Awareness Week, and I did that freestyle. And he posted it. He likes all my videos. He comments. So we've just built like a flipping bromance over the internet. So I can't wait to meet him like in flesh.
Yeah, which is amazing, the power of the internet.
I go on about it all the time.
It's a curse and a blessing, I find. But when you get those moments where, like for example, me talking to you I fucking love it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah,
I get to talk to people that I'm like. I've had people over in America that I'll never meet, but I've had some fantastic conversations with. It's definitely. Like, wow. And I say it every time I do a podcast. As soon as I finish a podcast, my rest of my day, I'm happy. I'm all bubbly. Definitely. I'm all happy.
Yeah, definitely.
I started the morning off. I had to tell my kids off because they were being pains in my ass. They were having arguments. And I was like, this is not starting my day. At all.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna I'll pick them up after their uncle's gonna pick them up. I'm gonna pick them up after school, and I'm gonna be like, I just had an amazing chat with an amazing man. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. No, that's called. I saw a clip from a podcast yesterday, and he explained it well. It's called the flow state.
Oh yeah.
So the flow state is whenever you're doing something and it makes you forget about time. Because the person was explaining what happiness is, and he said happiness is staying in the flow state as long as possible. So like when you do this podcast, this is gonna fly. Like before you know it, you're gonna be like, yeah, bro, we've done an hour. Good to have you. That was amazing. But that's when you're in the flow state. And like when he said that, it hit me because I was like, oh, I spend a lot of time in the flow state. Like I'm always in studio. I do 6-hour sessions. It flies. I do podcasts like this. It flies. I do live talks. It flies. So being in the flow state as much as possible. You want to spend your life in there if we could.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the amount of times that I've done podcasts is slightly different on Zoom now because they've put that annoying timer on, so it cuts out after a bit. But I've had it before where I've been up to like Joe Rogan level of like 3.5 hours.
Yes.
And it's like, I get in the house and my wife is like, you've been out there for 3.5 hours. Like, she's like, you're in the shed. I went, I know I'm in the
shed. That's the flow state.
But it's amazing. But yeah, back to my original question. What sort of set you on the path of writing and freestyling and whatnot? Is it just something you've always been passionate about?
I saw Heartless Crew. I don't know if you know who Heartless Crew is.
Can't say I do.
I don't know if you know them. They're like iconic in the urban scene, like legends in the urban scene. And where I am now, this area, Broadwater Farm, Tottenham, there's a community centre right in front of me where they used to do something called presentation for football. So every year they'll have like a big presentation. They'll give out awards, managers, player of the year, top goal scorer, whatever. Yeah, and just in the opposite room they had like a rave, and I was like I'm young, like 14. I'm not even supposed to be in there. But my mum used to work in the community centre, so like my mum could allow me to go into certain places. So I went in there and I saw Heartless Crew performing, and they had everyone jumping up and down and singing their lyrics. I don't know what hit me. Now I get it. It was my purpose and I was meant to see that. Nothing happens by coincidence. I was meant to be in that room and see it. But yeah, it just triggered something in me. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want people to be jumping up and down like that for my lyrics. That's how it started, with jumping up and down. Yeah. Then fast forward, like 2012, I bumped into someone, introduced me to Kendrick Lamar, said, yo, you got to hear this guy called Kendrick Lamar. He's fucking incredible. He's got a project called Section 80. I listened to it, and then I learned that you can make people cry from your music, and you can touch people from your music, and you can like put little gems and little secret messages in your music, and you can make people go back to your project like once, again and again and again to hear it. I didn't know you can do all of that. And then Kendrick and J. Cole taught me that, and then I learned I had that in me too. I was like, oh shit, I can do that. And then that set me on this crazy path that I'm on now. So I've had different people from like different stages of my life to like inspire me. But currently the stage I'm at in my life is using my music to like heal and like touch people and just move people. Like when I had Kendrick's CD, I don't think you understand, I was shell-shocked for the whole week. I couldn't believe what I heard. He was talking about the beauty of being human. I've never heard that before. I was in a group called Marvel. I don't know if you know my history, but I was in a group called Marvel, and we are like superheroes. You know what I mean? Like No one ever told me about the beauty of like being human and being yourself and staying true to yourself and sharing emotions and being vulnerable and going through hard times. And I know none of that shit. None of that didn't mean nothing to me. I just wanted to be like, you know, superhuman.
Yeah, I get that. It's
and
as
I
though
had Kendrick.
It's as though you got to have that sort of persona. I'm now doing.
Yes.
I'm doing this, so I've got to be untouchable. I don't want to show my vulnerability.
Figured out. Yes. And then I had Kendrick made Good Kid, Mad City, and he's talking about someone put angel dust, crack in his weed, and he smoked it for the first time, and that's why he stopped smoking, and because of that experience. And he was talking about the art of peer pressure and being peer pressured by just all these basic human things that we go through that no one talks about. And I was like, that's amazing, and I want to do that. And that's what I do now. Like, you've heard my music. I talk about single mothers and for a reason, like miscarriages and all these raw human things that we all can relate to. It doesn't matter where you're from. Like, we're from two different walks of life, and we're here talking about, do you know what I mean? It's joined us and brought us together. So I think if you've got that gift, if anyone's listening to your podcast and they're up and coming artists and you've got that ability to like move people, like, you have to do it. It's a sin. I don't believe sins, but that's a sin not to like use that gift and like, you have to do it, man. It's an incredible thing, like.
Yeah, and that's one thing that really resonated with me with the album that I listened to of yours, was how real and authentic and raw and hard hitting the lyrics were. And I was like,
definitely.
And there's not many albums like. Oh, to be fair, the albums I tend to listen to are like my daughters when they're putting the music on in the car. I got K-pop on and stuff like that. So when I'm driving around site at work, to be fair, usually I have Liam Gallagher on or Oasis or something. That's my type of music. But when I was chatting with you that one day and you said put this album on, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, which song? And you went, no, listen to it in order. And let me know your feedback. And I genuinely, not just because you're on the show now, I was like, whoa, this is
appreciate it.
And there's not many albums that I've gone, whoa. You know what I mean? There's so many different ones that were touching different, like, different strings on my heart and things like that. The one that I really, really enjoyed was the one about being a good father.
Yes, good fathers.
Because like you said in the I don't know if it's the opening lyrics or what, but it's like not many people talk about good dads. It's always my dad left, my dad did this.
Yes.
And definitely. I was like, I really, because being a dad myself, and I haven't run away. I've had my troubles with my mental health, where the girls have seen me at my lowest, etc. But I never was gonna just ditch my girls because they're my girls, and it's hard for me to comprehend why a dad would leave. There's got to be a hell of a reason.
Yeah, definitely.
But when I heard that, I was like, finally.
Definitely. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that song because it shows growth for me as well. If you listen back to my first two projects, or just in general, all my projects, whenever I speak about my dad, I'm always talking about he wasn't there, he left, all this stuff, you know what I mean? So for me to make Good Fathers just shows the growth, you know what I mean? Like 10 years later, you can hear me saying, nah, there is some good fathers. And there is, because how I made the song was my DJ Memsy. I don't know if you see me posting him sometimes, but he just had a daughter and a son. And I'm really close with him. So I've been seeing how he is with his kids. And I was like, yo, I've never seen that in my life. He's actually a great father. I don't know what a great father is, but it's not far from that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, he's a good father. And I was like, so that means there must be millions of other good fathers out there. And then I tried to think about what songs I've heard that's like uplifted fathers. And I was like, yo, I ain't heard none. I've always heard fuck him and ding. And I was like, I've got to make one. And I made Good Fathers, and I got a 10-minute voice note from this guy. 10 minutes. I'm not joking, bro. The voice note was 10 minutes. That was my voice notes are no less than 3 minutes, so I'm not entertaining it. This was 10 minutes. My manager sent it to me. My manager was like, bro, I got a friend that wants to send something to you. He heard your song and he's touched by it. And he sent me a 10-minute voice note saying how he's an artist too. And he said he would love to have been able to like make a song like that. And just like, yeah, it was amazing. So Good Fathers, that's definitely up there, one of my most precious songs.
I happen to be one of my favorites. When I listened to it, I was like, this is brilliant.
I appreciate it.
But obviously what is quite endearing about yourself is obviously you've had struggles with your own mental health, and obviously my podcast is semi-based around my experiences through it. And I like to talk to people that have sort of broke through the other side. It's always a long, arduous journey. And I don't think the journey will ever end. But
no, it doesn't.
But yeah, it's good to see.
But you just get more equipped. You get more equipped to
that's what I like to say. I always say that I add new tools to my back belt. Is what I say.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
It's my different thing. So what sort of things do you do to keep yourself so positive? Like today, you seem really positive.
Do you know what? Because I've been sectioned before 3 times.
What was that like?
I mean, bro, that is like, it's the closest thing to hell.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I don't know what hell looks like. If there is a hell, if it does exist, what it looks like. But for me, that was like hell for me. Yeah. I met people in there that it was heaven for them. And there was this guy in there that didn't want to leave because he was like, the bed space that he's getting. And I was like, what kind of conditions was you living in outside of this?
Yeah, like, man.
But for me, you can imagine why it was helping me, because I came from like being a star. Do you know what I mean? Not long before getting sectioned the first time in 2012, I was in a group that was thriving. It's not like we wasn't doing well. Like we was on tour with Chipmunk, 3,000 a night, on tour with Skepta, 2,000 a night, then on tour with Diversity, 9,000. You remember Diversity, Britain's Got Talent? They was doing arenas. Yeah. They was doing arenas. So like, I mean, I was brushing past people like Drake and Rihanna, and I was in an incredible space. So to take that low fall and tumble into depression like that and end up section, like it was a shell shock. And I had this lyric. I remember I had this lyric about I had this lyric about if there's a hell, I hope there's a treadmill there so I can keep healthy. It was just a play on words about healthy, yeah. And then the first day I got into I got section, and like there's this space that you go into. Just it's like a meeting space, like a space where you can just like use the computer and chill and everything. Yeah, there was a treadmill in the corner, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what am I held there? Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I always remember that lyric. I always laugh about that, and because I remember that was my first thought. Like when they were taking me into the rooms, and I went into that room and I saw the treadmill. I was like, oh shit, where the fuck am I? What's this? And then, but yeah, no, being section it's a shell shock, because I feel like if you are a sane person, no pun intended, and you spend a long time in that environment, it will change you. You will actually come out unsane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the environment's so different. The conversations you hear, the way people are behaving, is so different to the norm. Whatever we think the norm is anyway, yeah? So like, it was just a shell shock. And like, but what I loved about it is that because I went so low, the only thing was up from there.
Yeah.
Most things that would embarrass people in a day-to-day wouldn't affect me. Like most people are embarrassed to like trip up in front of someone or to ask a girl out, or
that's a daily occurrence, me tripping over.
Do you know what I mean? Tripping over, or like, or taking a selfie wrong, or I see people all the time, like, I don't like it. My face looks a bit, and I'm like, just these little things that I mean that like will have no effect to me, because like I've been to the lowest of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it takes away the embarrassment and the shame, and like you come into society like fearless. You know what I mean? You can tell by my music and how I am, I'm just fearless, because like I have something to measure it to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
If like when I left my recent label recently, in my mind, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fucked that I left the label, but it's not worse than when I was in the ambulance, man. Do you know what I mean? With my mum next to me saying, relax. Like, do you know what I mean? I've got something to weigh it next to. And that's the beauty of coming out of depression, coming out the other side, is that you now have a gauge of like your limit. Do you know what I mean? Of like what you can withstand.
Yeah, definitely.
So certain stuff doesn't.
It does give you a bit of a body armor, you might say. When
that's what I'm looking for. That's the word.
When you've been at a fucking serious low point. I always talk about one of my lowest points was when I was literally curled up in a ball, crying my eyes out after having a massive argument with my wife. I was basically pushing my wife away. Didn't want to. I almost got to the point where I was like, well, I'm either gonna leave the family or, you know, the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And I remember she went to work and I was on the floor and my eldest daughter came down, put her forehead against mine and said, "Daddy, but we still love you." And I remember just sitting there going, I need to sort myself out. I can't have I can't have that anymore. And that's basically and 2 or 3 days later, Granite Zero podcast was created because I needed something to give me an outlet. Like I used to, when I was a kid, if I was feeling a bit low or whatnot, I used to write poetry every now and then. They weren't great, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It was a form of expression for you.
And although I'm severely dyslexic, I did quite well at doing that. But I was like, I don't want to just be writing that. I want to express myself.
Definitely.
I'm not the most articulate. I'm not the best wordsmith, you might say.
Yeah.
But you know, I sit here and I hit record and I just let it all just fucking come out. The first 2 episodes I recorded on my iPhone, and they're not the greatest episodes, but it was literally like me going, right, let's open up these floodgates, let's see what happens.
Yes.
And I think this is now 121st episode now, so I'm
that's fucking sick,
and
that's amazing,
and we're getting there. And
congrats on that.
Thank you very much. We're getting there. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a arduous, winding road that sometimes goes up and sometimes goes down. You know,
definitely.
I've had my. I'm sure you've probably had that similar. I've had my trolls, my hate, and things like that.
Of course.
Because people don't understand why I'm doing stuff.
But
it's like now I'm doing a similar sort of Joe Rogan sort of thing. I've got Joe Rogan in my head because he's like my idol.
He's
like he doesn't read comments. He doesn't read whether they're positive or negative. It's like you don't need to. I'm just doing me. And if people don't like me, if people don't like me and they're going to comment, well, that's their problem. It's like they can always not listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, exactly. And they're choosing to listen.
Yeah, it's like thanks. You're giving me extra listens, extra views. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. And there's this guy called Wallow. I don't know if you heard of him. There's 2 guys, Wallow and Gilly. And Wallow's got this hoodie, this merchandise that he made saying your haters are your marketing team. And he's not even lying. Like they market you. Like
it's a very, very similar thing. Like I managed to write a book and get it published through Amazon. It's just like my memoirs from when I was away in Iraq and Afghanistan and the build up to the podcast. Basically, I had a lot of. Well, I actually had more positive than negative reviews, but the negative ones are like hard hitting, like was upsetting the missus. And I was like, why? Don't read them. I went, that's going to go one or 2 ways. It was like, people are going to read those and go, well, I'll read that book and see and make up my own mind, or they won't read the book.
Definitely.
I was like,
definitely.
At the end of the day, these people that have read the book and reviewed it and put the thing on Amazon, guess what? They bought the book.
Yeah, exactly.
That's in my back pocket. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't want to be criticized, then don't put nothing into the world.
Yeah.
Because you're actually lending yourself for opinions. Everyone's going to have something, and not everyone's good. Everyone can't like your shit. It's impossible. You've got too much different belief systems for everyone to like.
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? So you got to find your tribe and just fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I do. I just find my tribe and keep it moving. That's why whenever people DM me, I always ask them like certain questions, or I go on their page to just get a quick, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Figure out what brought you to my DMs. Because my page, what I love about my page is that my page is not one of those pages that like you just stumble on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a models page where I know like we're all here because she's sexy and like, do you know what I mean? There's different, do you know what I mean? Like there's different people there, like someone's dad's there or someone because she's beautiful. No, my page is actually specific, what I talk about with mental health and impact over numbers. So when you DM me or you follow me, you followed me for a reason. You saw something in there that's in line with your belief systems that said, oh, I like him. So that gives me joy because I know like everyone on my page is actually there for me. Not for me, but for...
Yeah, I also like that. The title of the album and that impact over numbers. I love that.
Yeah, it's clear as day.
It's because I would rather have the amount of followers that I've got and I'm true to myself saying my message that I want to send than trying to say fucking whatever. Or for example, put a sexy, like you said, a sexy woman with a big pink ass
on the cover,
sticking it out, going, look at this, and it's like I'm just doing that because I want loads of followers.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Just be true to yourself, and the rest.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's meant to be, you'll get the followers, you'll get the people, and
definitely agreed.
Yeah, and I've said it all the time on here. I'm not doing the podcast to become the next Joe Rogan, to become a famous podcaster. That's not what I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it helps me. Yeah. And if I can help other people because they can hear me talking about my experiences, what I'm going through, having guests like yourself on, talking about your experiences, what you went through, being sectioned, and how you come out the other side.
Yeah.
If that helps other people, brilliant.
Exactly. And you're going to reach people Joe Rogan is never going to reach. So your podcast is significant. Your podcast is meant to exist because there's people like, where you from? I'm
in Kent now.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Joe Rogan's ever been Kent or like.
Nah, I don't think he has.
You know what I mean? There's some people in Kent that he's never going to reach, that you're going to reach. And there's some people I've got in Tottenham. So we've all got like specific people that we're going to reach that other people's not going to reach. I'm not going to meet everyone in the world. My life is already designed for everyone I'm going to meet. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to meet all 6 billion of us. Like, there's a certain people, so you got to touch them. I did a school talk like last week, and one of the kids raised their hands because when I was doing the Q&A, the question part, and I asked him, yeah, what's your question? He was like, how much views has this self-love song you're talking about got? Because I was talking about self-love. And I was like, oh, it's only got 65. No, I never said only. I said it's got 60,000 views. And he looked and frowned like, just 60,000. And I was like, how much people is in this room now? And he said about 100 of us. I was like, do you think 60,000 people could fit into this room?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I never looked at it like that. And that's what happens, that the numbers, we're so blinded by it that we forget like 100 people bro, that's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, definitely.
When you squeeze us into one room, that's 100 humans, you know, forget the number, that's 100 of us.
Yeah, man.
That's incredible.
I love that. To be fair, I never even thought of it that way. And
yeah,
it's one of those, isn't it? He's like, oh, only 60,000. It's like, hang on a minute. That's the size of the Emirates football stadium.
Yes, exactly. Someone else said that to me too. Exactly.
That's
true.
And it's like, you could be stood in the center spot and have everybody there, and that is your video that you've just done.
Yes, exactly. That's incredible. So people don't look at that. They just look at the number, forgetting those numbers are people.
Yeah.
They're people. Like, if you got 60,000 messages, in your DMs,
I don't know.
I mean, saying
I can barely handle having 43 emails that are unread.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, and that's where impact comes into it, because just having the numbers with no response is just the numbers. So if you got 60,000 blank emails. Imagine going through 60,000 blank emails, just an email that they emailed you, but nothing said. That's what the numbers are basically.
Yeah.
That's why I like comments. I appreciate comments. When I post, I'm looking, even if it's 2 comments, just the fact that they decided to comment. Because I don't comment on Instagram. It takes a lot. If you ever see my name under a comment, just know that like whatever that video was, it moved me. Because I don't comment. I just like and, you know, scroll. Yeah. So for someone to take time out their day and just comment, like, that was amazing. That was incredible. Thank you for that. That's what I look for, because it's easy to like and just to watch something.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to sort of how you can broaden where you get listens and things like that. Like I was going through my my Anchor account, which is where the podcast gets uploaded to and sent through. And I was looking through, and it tells you like the percentage of where you're being listened to. And I turned to my missus and I went, Granite Zero podcast is worldwide. And she was like, she's like, she was like, what do you mean? I went, well, I've got 75% is in the UK standard. And I went, I've got 15% in America. I've got 1%, and it was so funny. I've got 1% in like different European countries, and then there's a 1% in Nigeria. There's Australia, Thailand. And I went, this has got to be a bot. A bot has got to. I mean, there's no way someone from Thailand is listening to the Granite Zero podcast. But yeah, the sort of reach that I can get, because I've had a few people from America on the show, so it's sort of resonant, like pops up on people in America, just pop up. And I had an email from a lady. She's a psychologist, but she's mainly deals with post-traumatic stress, and she actually emailed me. Like usually it's me going to, like, say for example yourself, I've gone into your DMs, fancy coming on. They've emailed me saying she's heard this podcast on with whoever the guest was. She would love to come on your podcast. I was like, wow, that's never happened before. And I was like, this is, and again, fucking morale boost. I was happy all day. I was like, someone's emailed me.
Yes, exactly. That's dope. That's dope. That's true connection. Because you move them without moving them, without grabbing their hands to the keys and saying, message me. No, they were moved. And that's the beauty of being moved. Like, you moved them and they came to you and said what? That's why DMs are important too. And that's why I answer like nearly all of my DMs, because I appreciate the fact that I know what it takes to. People contemplate that, like, should I DM him? Is he gonna? I mean, so
yeah, definitely.
Just taking that effort to do it, like, it's only right. That
it's a nice thing as well. And I think if you do reply, we'll take yourself for example. You've got that lovely little blue tick, which people love, and if you get a little reply from someone with a blue tick, you're like, oh wow. So,
I've only started using it, funny enough. I've had it for so long, but I didn't realize what I could do with it until I went to a club the other day in Shoreditch in London, and there was this big queue, and I was like, oh fucking hell, we're gonna have to line up in the queue. And my DJ is a G, by the way. He's like a networking genius that I need him around, because I'm an introverted person. Apart from podcasts like this, I'm such an introverted person. And he's like so outgoing that he'll go up to a girl and just, you know what I mean? Which I will do too. But I mean, just in general, like he's a networker. He went up to the guy.
That shit puts my anxiety through the roof. It's like, go talk to that person. Nah, I'll do it in a minute.
And he went to the guy at the door and he was like, yeah, this is my artist. He's verified, whatever. And everything showed. And then we got in. Skipped the whole queue, got in there.
Fucking pushing in.
Do you know what I mean? And then we went to a restaurant. A while back, and he was like, where's the boss of this restaurant? And they called the boss over to our table. And he was like, we'll film your restaurant and tag you in it. And if you give us some food, and he got us it was a pizza place. He got us this big pizza. And I was like, bro, why the fuck, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't, bro. The blue tick, I don't give a fuck about it. Someone messaged me to let me know. They was like, yo, when did you get blue ticks? I was like, what are you talking about? They was like, go on your page. And I went on it and the tick was there. And I was like, my label got it done for me, but I didn't really realize that when I got signed, they asked me for my passport. They was like, "Oh, can we get your passport details and everything?" And I gave it to them, and then 2 weeks later, I was like verified. Shit.
Boom. Living the dream. Getting free
living the
pizza.
dream. Getting free pizza and skipping the queue for clubs and shit. What else can I do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What else? Hey, what else can he do? So
someone tell me, man. My blue tick friends, let me know, what are you lot doing? I know these influencers are doing the most. Like I know they are, and I'm missing out. Do you know what I mean? I know they're getting free flights.
Do you know what? As much as I'm all for positivity and not hating, I hate that. I hate the influencer thing. It's like, what are you influencing?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The one thing that always gets me going, and it's one of my like bugbears, and it's mainly targeted at like the fitness industry, and it tends to be the fitness chicks, because they'll have a picture of themselves in a thong or whatever, back to the sexy lady thing, with their with their peach out, their abs showing, all that, looking good, but it'll have this massive motivational speech thing on it, and it's like, come on. No one is double tapping your picture because of that.
Now Gary V talks about that all the time. You follow Gary V?
No.
He's a genius, man. You got to follow him. Gary V talks about it all the time. He says he gets DMs from all these models saying they would love to, like, because most of them are really smart, you know. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Most of them are like really in tune, but
don't
they're just afraid that.
Don't get me wrong. The post is what annoys me. I'm sure. Well, for fuck's sake, they've got like 30,000 followers plus. Some of these, some of them are up to 100,000. It's like, you're doing something right.
Yeah, no, most of them are like behind the scenes. Most of them are really, they watch different things and they're really smart, but they just worry that if I show my smartness and all of that stuff, it's not going to get the 30,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So they try and lure you in with the picture and then show you a glimpse of like their mindset through the captions. But I mean, it's still confusing. It's one or the other, mate.
It is. It's like, I'm scrolling through and it's like, oh, there's an ass. So, gets me in trouble. My Instagram's incredible. It's got everything on it. It's got comedy, women, everything. Yeah. To be fair, I use Instagram more than probably any of the other social medias that I got. I think
definitely
I've forgotten all about my Twitter. I looked on it the other day. I was like, oh.
I've forgotten about my Snapchat. Like, I'm on there, but I rarely post on there.
Nah, I don't. My eldest daughter has just got TikTok, but she's we've told her you can have it, but you can only have it for, I think my missus set up like the age bracket or something that she can look at. Obviously there's a lot of filth on there.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit on there, bro.
Yeah, and I was like, you're not posting anything. You know, when you can create your little content, but you save it in your drafts until until we've seen it. Definitely. I ain't having some fucking creature staring at my 10-year-old. But
definitely.
But I was looking through a few things on there, and I was like, oh, you could actually send some really good messages, because it's like a 30-minute reel. I think Instagram got reels, haven't they? 30 seconds, and it's like you could say a lot, or a minute.
It's true. My TikTok's tailored because I've already typed in like what kind of videos I want to see. So like, my TikTok is fucking tailored, and like they've got the sickest videos on there. Because I put in like motivation and spirituality, and I spend like half an hour on there, because you know they got the for you, which is for you. And it's like, I can't leave it. Like every single video. It's bruv. Every single video was that something that I would want to see.
Yeah, one of my buddies did a video. He said he wanted to go viral. He went, I've done it. I was like, all right, cool. He went, it's a 30-second video. He went, basically it's about his missus calling him down from upstairs and basically and then basically going, nah, you're right. I don't need you now. And I went, how long did it take you to do that video? And he went, mate, it took me about 3 hours. It's like, mate, it's shit. And he was like, oh no. But my daughter, some of the videos she's made, I'm like, wow, like you're 10 years old and you've made that video. I'm well impressed.
This generation is advanced. They're way advanced.
She's got one where it's stuff my dad says. So she puts my voice.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she puts my voice on, and she comes out with these things. She's got like "start sparking" is one of them. Stop mincing around. It's all these different phrases that I keep coming out with.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that's good. That's a good one. That is original." I was like,
I like TikTok, man, because it's allowing the youth to express their creativity
the
way
agree.
they want to. Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, definitely, and it's good. I like to think that the generation that we're sort of building, like my daughter's coming up, I think they're going to cancel the cancel culture. I think.
Yeah.
I think I might have heard that on that might have been on Dave Chappelle's stand up. I think he said that.
Is that what he said? Cancel culture, yeah?
Yeah. It'll be the next generation that cancel the generation that is doing the cancel culture.
Definitely.
That's a lot of words that I just said.
Definitely. And they're going to be the next generation to really heal all the past traumas as well.
Yeah.
Because they've started it. Just the fact that the way everyone's attacking this mental health thing, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. It wasn't too long ago.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I got first time I got section was in 2012. There was nothing like this. There was no one for me to turn to. Obviously there probably was, but there was not as visible. Do you know what I mean? To turn to people
and it was like you said, you've got section, you've got really bad mental health issues. Was it depression that took you down?
I got diagnosed with manic depression the first time and schizophrenia the last 2 times.
Yeah, so you've got all these things, but it's like you can't talk about it because he's mental.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Don't ask him because he could flip out. No, ask him.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you right now? Do you need anything?
Exactly.
Do you want to talk about it? It's crazy.
Exactly.
As backwards as people are, it's starting to come out. Like I said, my daughter's found me and sort of brought me up. They learn about it in school now, which I think is brilliant. I never learned.
I was just in the school, like I was telling you last week.
It's something
during that talk, and we was talking about everything.
Yeah, it's something that I'm looking into for next year. I'm looking to set up Granite Zero, basically going to evolve. So it's going to be, the podcast is where it started, and I'm going to evolve it to hopefully create the Granite Zero Foundation, which will be a mental health charity. Because I've said to my missus loads of times, I was like, I'm not going to quit my job for it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to start it and do it around my days off and things like that.
Yeah.
So I've been at a serious lows point. I've seen some.
Yeah, you've got something that people can't buy.
And I was like, I'd love to go into the secondary schools, primary schools, work environments, go back to the military and speak to squadrons and other platoons and things like that to speak about my experiences, because everybody can get affected by it.
Definitely.
That's the biggest thing that people go, it's not going to happen to me.
Definitely.
It might.
And I always say that, nah, for real. And I always, if you live long enough, and I always say that once you've survived that experience, you're liable to be a teacher now.
Yeah.
Whether you choose the option to do it, but you are liable, because they say experience is the best teacher, right? Definitely. So if you've gone through the experience, that means you've learned lessons and you can teach.
Yeah.
And you don't, when I call myself a mental health advocate in my bio, I don't have a fucking certificate that says that I've studied to be a mental health advocate. Yeah. I'm saying that I'm an advocate for mental health because I've got the real life experience.
Yeah. It's like, I definitely, because my missus, when we were talking about it, because I was talking about it, because she always thinks I can't settle, basically. I always have to have something to do. Whether it's a boxing match that I did for cancer, or the football match that I did against Spurs legends for Rock to Recovery, who help people with mental health, etc., etc. I was like, I've got to do something. And she's like, she's like, but you're not. What was it? You're not qualified to talk about mental health. I was like, what do you mean? I've been through it. I'm not saying that I'm going to give him fucking medical advice. I can give him the advice that I took. When I can stand up and do a lecture about it, I'm not going to say, on the test today. Is what is Sigmund Freud's.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show them an experience that I went through that they possibly could go through and how to get out of it. Do you know what I mean? That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not giving you no questionnaire and all this stuff. I'm just showing you, like,
I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there writing out a prescription for antidepressants.
Exactly. It's like 50 Cent. You think 50 Cent can't give a lecture about getting shot?
You
know what I mean? He got shot 9 times. Like, if there's anyone I would want to talk to, I don't want to talk to the guy that's been studying people that's been shot for 9 times and writing out how they reacted. I want to talk to the guy I want to talk to 50 Cent. I want to know, 50, what was the panic when you saw the gun in your fucking face? Like, how did that feel?
9 times as well. That is, pardon the pun, but that's overkill, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And they still failed because he got up. Well, he didn't get up. He's clear, but that's crazy.
Exactly. So of course he's going to go on to sell 10 million albums because he's like a walking ghost. Like, we all want to hear the man.
Well,
do you know what I mean? Like,
it's similar to Tupac when he was first shot, not the second time.
When he's got shot 5 times. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And that's how I feel being sectioned 3 times. I feel like the fact that I made it out of there in a condition where I can still articulate myself enough in society for people to give me a chance to hear what I have to say, super blessing. Because I know people that's been sectioned that, like, you can tell they've been sectioned, if that makes sense. You know, you can just look at them and be like, and unfortunately, in this society, that goes against you. People just won't give you the chance. They will, like, if you're approaching them, they will move a certain way, or it's just difficult, man. So the fact that I'm still in this is a super blessing.
Yeah, it's funny as well, isn't it? How different people talk to you when they discover that you've had or have a mental health issue.
Yeah, it's
quite funny. It's quite funny.
Yeah,
I had it a couple of years ago at my job when I was just a security officer. They asked us to put a little cordon around the fireworks display, and I've got PTSD, which happened from many different scenarios.
Oh shit, my mum's calling me.
That's no problem. What was I saying?
Yeah, go on now.
Oh yeah, so
I'll pull it back after.
It was fun. So they expect you not to have like a sense of humor as well. So they said to me that I was on the.
Actually, no, this could be important. Can I pick up? Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
1 second.
No problem. Yeah, so
she was
like,
that's a long. She was like, that's a long walk, because I told her I'm going for a walk. So she's probably thinking, yo, what kind of walk is that?
She's like,
what's that there that I'm missing on? But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I basically thought, I'll tell you what, I'll make a joke, because what is the point of having issues if you can't joke about them? That's just how I am. I've got a bit of a dark sense of humor. So they went, Tommo, you're on the line for the fireworks display, and I was like, you taking the piss? And they were like, what? And I went, you're gonna put me next to rockets? And they were like, what? And I went, you know, I've got PTSD. That's gonna set me off. and they were like, oh my god. And I went, I'm just messing with you. The rockets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
But I prefer it if people like sort of make a bit of a laugh, not a laugh and a joke, but you know, make a joke when it's.
No, it is important, because that's what my friends did for me. If my friends took everything, my whole experience that I went through so serious, I wouldn't be in the position I'll be in.
Exactly.
They never brought it up when we was together. They never used to bring it up. Do you know what's so crazy? The only time I've been answering questions about being sectioned is through these podcasts, and everything I've been doing has given me the chance to actually go through my mind and offload it. That whole period, I never really said anything. My friends never brought it up, which is good. I'm happy they didn't. So I probably wasn't ready to address it.
You have to be ready to bring it up.
You've got to be ready.
Yeah.
They never brought it up, and they never made me feel uncomfortable about it. It was just love. just love. They just made it. They just made the experience that proper cool. When they bust out, the first day I came out of hospital, my friend came up to me and he looked me in my eyes and he's like, "Are you still in there, mate? Are you sure you're in there?" And we just started laughing. And I was like, "Bruv, I'm here." But it was good, man. It was just sick. So, it was sick. But I feel like I've got the perfect balance because I've got the mental health stuff that humanizes me and connects me to everyone else's struggle. So I can talk to you, I can talk to everyone else. Then I've got the fucking superhuman side, which is like my music and that allows me to go into certain rooms that my mental health stuff will block me from going into, if that makes sense. A Brit nomination, I can go in there now because of my talent can get my talent can get me in there. Then God willing, if I win, I can speak about the mental health stuff in my acceptance speech. So it works, man. It works.
Yeah. And we need to get you that Brit so that you can say,
yeah, we need that Brit. We need that Brit.
And then you can say, well, I was on the Granite Zero podcast and he's...
I'll take this clip. Are you going to use these? Do you use your, is it just the audio? Okay, cool.
No, I do the audio and I do the audio and I do the video as well. I put the video on YouTube.
Yeah, this is history. Save this. I'm going to, that clip, when I win my Brit for my album.
And I'll be like, you said it here first.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, no, my album is beautiful, by the way, man. I can't wait for the world to hear it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So when you perform, do you like? I've heard like different artists sort of make a persona that they go into to maybe get rid of sort of the anxiety of performing or whatever. Do you do anything like that, or are you just
like a ritual or something?
Well, no, like so.
I feel like Shocka's my persona.
It could well be. That's a good one.
I feel like I turn into Shocka. Shocka is like, he's like he's everything that I want to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like when I look at my Instagram,
that's what I was going for. Yeah,
definitely. Like when I look at my Instagram, I always get DMs like, "I love your page. Like, I just spent half an hour on your page just watching videos." And I do the same thing, not to sound vain, but like I do the same thing because that version of me is a version of me. It's not the version every day. Do you know what I mean? Like even me talking to you now, I'm talking to your best self. I'm talking to the self that loves what he's doing and is relaxed and free. There's another self at work that I'll see and I'll be like, where's the Ground Zero guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Like, why is his face all down? And like, you know what I mean? So my Instagram is like the best version. And I always go in there and I'm like, that's the end result of how I aspire. That's how I'm gonna be. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's me, man. I can see my true spirit in it. And that's what I feel like I turn into when I go on stage.
I like that.
As soon as I get that mic or I do these podcasts, I turn into like the true person I actually aspire to be. Because there is two people in a weird way. There's Shocka, who is like, you know, does the music and helps people and does all this stuff. Then there's Kenneth. When I got sectioned, they wasn't calling me Shocka. They was calling me Kenneth. Yes, Kenneth, go get your medication, Kenneth. Do you know what I mean? So like, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of The Matrix. Not The Matrix, you've got Neo, and then you've got Mr. Anderson. Is that his name? Anderson?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Yeah.
Mr. Anderson. There's Mr. Anderson and there's Neo, and he had to fight to be Neo.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like. There's Kenneth, who's like, you know, just no GCSEs, got kicked out of school, been sectioned 3 times. Then there's Shocka, who's got a TED Talk, just did the Paralympics advert with Adidas, got my headline show next month. So I got to fight for like, I did. If you go on Adidas Instagram now, I did the Paralympics advert.
I'll look.
Yeah, you got to check that out, mate. Yeah,
I'll do that in a minute. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A close buddy of mine just won gold at the Paralympics.
What was his name?
Stuart Robinson. He was one of the wheelchair rugby guys.
Nah, I don't think I know him, but I know a few of them because they gave me like a brief of like everyone to learn to put it into the lyrics. Oh, cool. And like I learned so much about the Paralympics. Like it's such an amazing sport. I didn't know too much.
I didn't until my buddy. So my buddy Robbo, he lost both his legs in Afghanistan, and you know, in my head, I'm like, well, most people that would be like devastating, but I've never seen him better. Like he started off doing the Invictus Games. He was the wheelchair rugby captain there, and then Next thing I know, he sends me a message saying I've just been selected for Team GB. I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah. yeah.
But yeah, he was one of the stars for the wheelchair rugby team. He was fucking brilliant. And it's the first time I ever watched wheelchair rugby because I was like, what is this? And those guys are violent.
Yes. and it's like I did a performance yesterday and my friend was like, you're so good at giving context before you perform the song. And I was like, context is everything. Because I don't just perform my songs. So some people just come on and be like, hey, what's going on, everyone? Right, I'm going to perform this song called Help the World. And they perform it. But it's like, if you give them the intention to why you want to help the world, when they're listening to the song, they'll remember your intention. And I always do that. Before I perform Self-Love, I take them on my journey. Or single mothers, I take them. The reason why I'm saying that is because the reason why I skip the Paralympics most of the time is because I didn't have the context to how they got there. Obviously, I knew, you can tell, but like knowing their stories now, when you're watching it and you're seeing them, and it makes it epic.
It makes it so much. It's so much more powerful, I think.
Yes, exactly.
It's like personally, because obviously I know this guy personally. He was actually my section commander in Iraq. He was fucking brilliant. Well, not my section. We were in the same flight. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But yeah, because I knew him and I seen the journey that he went through. Like, I was actually radio operator when he actually got blown up. So I had all his information.
Oh shit!
And I was like, fucking hell, that's one of my mates. Like everybody on the squadron is your mate, but I was like, I knew him. Like,
definitely.
He used to go out on the piss and whatnot. But anyway, and then because I knew his story, and I was like, I watched him in the Invictus Games, and I thought, this is incredible.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And then I saw it, and then he came on the podcast, and he was saying, "Oh, we're getting ready for Tokyo," and I was like, "Fucking, this is epic." But then obviously COVID hit, and then he went out, and I didn't miss a game. I was watching it when I was supposed to be working. I had my laptop on.
That's what I'm saying.
My client came into him. What are you watching? I went, I'm watching my mate play rugby in a wheelchair. It's brilliant. She's like, "Oh, right. Are you going to do any work? Not until this is finished, obviously."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, when the gold medal match, I had my wife in the house. I had my daughters. We were all watching it. They had no idea what was going on, but we were all jumping up. Going, yeah, fucking got gold. It was unreal.
Yeah,
but more invested.
That's epic.
And the story, I was like, then you think about these people are doing amazing things within the world of sport, which you sort of think, you're disabled, you shouldn't be doing that. Which makes it that much more. It's like, wow.
Like, exactly, bro.
I've even down to some of the sports that you don't really class as, like, I wouldn't personally be like, oh, that's a fucking hard sport, like bowls. But you see some of these guys and they're like severely disabled, but they're still throwing this fucking ball. And I'm like, fair fucking play to you. You're an Olympian. That's higher than I would ever be.
Yes, definitely. Just to pick yourself back up and decide to even go into that is incredible. You know what I mean? That's like phenomenal. Like, there's people that go through situations like that and they
unbreakable mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So they've won already, and then to win an actual medal on top, it's fun. So context is important, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to do that Paralympic thing because, yeah, man, it's just super inspiring.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely going to be checking that out, and I'll definitely be reposting that shit. Not that I've got all the followers in the world, but I'll be reposting that. I know this guy. Cool. Me and Shocka are like this now.
Nah, it's all good.
So 19th of December, I need to try and get myself a 19th
ticket. Of December. It'll be incredible to see you there, just to look and be like, oh, I might even stop the song. Yo, he came from Kent, you know what I mean? So
there he is.
You'll be sick. That would be sick.
You won't be able to see me. I'm only 5'6", so you'll be like, where is it?
Nah, that would be sick.
Stand up.
That'd be sick.
Definitely. But to be fair, mate, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Plus, I have to go and pick up the kids. Mate, I could talk to you for hours.
We could do, we've got to do a part two when the album comes.
Flow state.
We're in the fucking flow state. Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
When the album comes out, mate, definitely get a part 2 on, and
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to try and get you a ticket. I know it's only a shed, but I'd love to have you in person in the shed here.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Have a proper face-to-face conversation, because
sick.
As much as I can connect around the world with people via Zoom, there's nothing better than having it face-to-face.
Yeah, definitely, man. I got a mate that I was telling you about, my friend that does my editing stuff. He's a traveler. He's on an 11-hour shift right now. Like, he just works. Yeah, he works super hard, and if I tell him let's go Kent and do this, he'll be up for it. So yeah, man, just let me know when you're ready. We'll make it happen.
Well, definitely. Shocka, thank you very much for coming on. It was
a pleasure.
Honor, my privilege to have you on. It
was a pleasure, bro. Speak soon. Hopefully next month. If not, when it happens, it will happen.
Definitely. Happy days. Cheers for coming on, my man.
Sweet. Love, bro.